What's crack, guys? Colm here. This is the fourth video in the GYM and GAA series. We're looking to strike the balance between both. So we're looking to get the most out of the GYM and we're looking to get the most out of GAA as well, whether it's hurling or football. In this video, I am going to talk about your year and what your training program should look like and what your focus should be on during the year. Now, a lot of this stuff is going to make a lot of sense to people, and hopefully it's things that you're doing already, but I just want to emphasize it and that help people get the most out of both. So the programs that I've put up, the first couple of programs on the Facebook page, are again for pre-season, off-season, mid-season in some cases, and really those programs are designed to get you stronger and to get you a little bit bigger, build some muscle mass. Take all this stuff with a bit of a pinch of salt because those programs aren't specific, and again that's the limitation with this kind of a conversation we're having. I'm on this side of the camera, you're on that side of the camera, and I don't have a chance to assess you or ask you a couple of questions to see what would actually really benefit you, or what, based on your assessment, what you really need to work on. But we'll go from there and I'll give you as much information as I can. So, pre-season, off-season, we want to focus on what athletic, we'll say, markers or numbers do you really need to improve on. Do you need to cut body fat? Do you need to build strength? Do you need to build muscle mass? And then you work from there, and you can really kind of dog yourself in the off season and the pre-season. If there was any time of the year where you're really to focus on weights and do 6 sessions per week, that would be in your pre-season. And I think a lot of guys understand that. So if you really want to build muscle mass and build some strength in that off season, get in your 6 days per week if you have the time, or get in as many days per week as you can. Watch the previous video to get an understanding of what splits you should be working on. But you have to remember, you don't want to just do 6 days per week lifting weights in the gym. You have to try and work on the cardiovascular side of things as well, the conditioning side of things, and you should probably be adding in some GA specific movements to make sure that you're keeping the right movement patterns. I'll talk about GA specific movements in another video coming soon. So if you're doing your 6 days per week as an example in the gym, make sure you get at least 2 days per week where you're working on the conditioning. Now, I'm going to recommend HIIT sessions. It's basically what we do here in the gym. It's what we do with a lot of our GA teams that come into us, and they're basically conditioning sessions that are just condensed into like really short periods of time. So you're talking only a half an hour, but it's a really hard half an hour of work. Now, what I'll do is I'll give you some I put together some sample HIIT workouts. I'll put them up on the Facebook page as well, and really just go as hard as you can in those and use them as your sessions to kind of replicate what you might do in the pitch. Because again, at the moment you're not out in the pitch. If you're in the off season, you're doing 6 days a week in the gym. It's cold outside, it's snowing maybe in some places in Ireland, so you don't want to be out there. So we've got the gym covered. Off season, you're looking to focus on muscle and strength. Go as many days as you can. In the conditioning side of things, then get at least 2 conditioning sessions in per week, and then try and get in a bit of skills work. So if you're a hurler and if you absolutely love hurling, you're probably just pucking around with your friends anyway, pucking the ball off the wall. But with football, people typically can kind of ignore that a little bit. So do try and focus on getting a couple of skill sessions in per week. And again, this all comes with a grain of salt, because for somebody here in the gym, they might be really lacking in the strength aspect of things, and they might have to really focus on that, and they might really want to get bigger and stronger, and the gym might be their preference, so that person will spend more time in the gym. You might be someone who is you're strong, you're probably maybe you're carrying a little bit too much muscle mass and it's really affecting your game, so you actually want to just reduce the amount of weight training that you're doing in the gym, reducing the amount of weeks that you're doing weight training, and then the other days that you're in the gym, maybe do a bit more of the HIIT training. So again, that's up to you, and you got to figure that stuff out. So coming towards our mid-season, then obviously we're back on the pitch a little bit more often, so you're probably not going to have the energy to do as much leg sessions in particular. So if you were doing 3 sessions per week on legs, or 2 very heavy sessions per week on legs, you're probably going to have to cut that down a little bit. But what I want to focus on is maintaining the strength. So whatever strength you've gathered in your pre-season or off-season, maintaining that strength throughout the year and trying to build on that whilst reducing down the total amount of frequency that you're doing in the legs. So sticking to legs 2 days per week. Now you can go a little bit harder on the upper body because again, when you're running on the pitch, it's going to take it out of your legs. If you still feel like you need to work on your conditioning work as the season goes along, you should be obviously training on the pitch. 2 days per week and a match at the weekend is generally how teams break it down. If you find that the pitch sessions aren't hard enough, or if you're not doing conditioning work on the pitch, get in and get a hit session done. You could also get like a third session in per week with a hit session. So you might have, say if you went Monday and Thursday on the pitch and then a match on the weekends, you might do a hit session on a Tuesday. Or if your Monday session was a really hard run but your Thursday wasn't really that hard and you didn't find it that challenging, you might also do a hit session on Thursday. So what we want to do there is, again, we are identifying how strenuous is our training on the pitch and what do we need to work on. Maybe you're super fit already, maybe you don't need to do any hit sessions, but again, I'll leave that stuff up to you. In general, when we get into this season, we want to rest at least our legs the day before a game and the day of a game, obviously enough. So the day of a game, ideally we don't do any gym work that day, and the day before the game you can do upper body, but definitely give your legs a rest. If you were to pick any day of the week to do a kind of a catch-up session, the day of the game but after the game is a really good day to do an extra gym session. So as an example, if you were to do legs on a Thursday and you had a rest on a Friday, game on a Saturday, doing an upper body session straight after the game is a really good way to catch up on another session, and then to do legs the following day maybe would kind of get you back into your next cycle, whatever your split is. When we get into championship time, the couple of weeks out before championship, you really want to change up that program. Okay, we need to start deloading on legs, so we need to start focusing more on developing power. So all of the muscle mass and all the strength that we've gained over the past few months, we need to now transfer that into power. And what power means is basically explosiveness, speed, agility, quickness, and getting the most out of the muscle mass that we have and the neural activation that we have, and applying that to our performance on the pitch. So what your program should look like, I'll put up a couple of sample programs for kind of in the middle of championship. Again, nothing very specific because I can't assess people, but you're looking at doing a lot less leg work, still doing 2 leg sessions per week, but the total volume and the total workload on those is really, really low. So instead of doing like 100 kilos for 6 to 8 reps, you might only be doing 60 kilos for, again, 6 to 8 reps, and you're cutting it down everything more or less by 60%, or down to 60% on the legs. With the upper body stuff, you can still push hard on that, but the couple of days leading up to championship, you'll be looking to reduce that down as well. You'll probably end up reducing down your total amount of gym sessions as well. Part of that is to give your whole body a little bit of time to recover so that you can get the most out of your day when you're on the pitch. So you're looking at 2, maximum 3 gym sessions per week coming up the championship in general. Now, again, you got to decide on what's your balance. Are you a little bit more orientated towards the gym? If you're more orientated towards performance on the pitch during championship, then you definitely want to focus on 2 sessions per week. Will be absolutely fine. I'll give some sample programs for that as well. And generally through the stretch of championship, you want to kind of apply those principles. If you have a break for 4 weeks, you can go back to doing more volume, more frequency, getting into the gym a little bit more often. But other than that, 2 days per week should be fine. Within those 2 days per week, though, the actual movements that you do in those 2 days really depend on your skills in the gym. Can you do a snatch? Can you do a dumbbell snatch? Can you do a high hang, high pull? Or can you do a power clean? Or can you do a clean and a jerk? So what movements are you capable of doing? What's your single leg balance like? What's your bounding skills like? So again, what I'll be giving you will be fairly easy to follow, I hope. And if you have any questions about it, though, do let me know. So off season, focus on building strength, building muscle, focus on those athletic components that you're trying to develop, but don't totally neglect getting fit as well. So keep some hit sessions going. In the middle of your season, your running should be really kind of taking part with the team. If you need to catch up on a bit of running, you can do an extra hit session per week, or if your running isn't hard enough, do an extra hit session on that day. Try and rest the day before a game, and if you want to catch up on a gym session, definitely do an upper body or even a lower body session if the match wasn't too hard on the day of a game. After the game, come towards championship time, you really got to deload on all of the kind of the heavy gym work we've been doing to give our whole body a rest, both the muscles and your nervous system as well. So you want to focus on 2 days per week if you're really looking to get the most out of your performance. But again, that'll depend on you and whether you've got like more of a preference towards the gym side of things. But again, I'll leave that up to you. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope the content has been helpful. In the next video, I'm going to talk a little bit more about the specific program for in the middle of championship and what that looks like and what we're focusing on. And if you've any questions about any of this stuff, do let me know. You can find me on social media at Coach Colm. Make sure you're on the Facebook page if you're watching this. If it's not on the Facebook page, make sure you get on the Facebook page, because all the programs I'm talking about are going to be on that Facebook page for you to download for free. Make sure you let the boys know, throw it up on the WhatsApp group if you think they'd like the content. And again, if you're sharing this content or liking this content, I really appreciate it. And do stick around for the next video. I will see you then. Slán.